I'm here at Warner Brothers Studios in Burbank, California, where Tesla will be unveiling the robotaxi for the first time. I figured now would be a great time to show you how I use full self-driving and what it can and can't do. All Tesla vehicles come with basic autopilot. FSD is not that. Full self-driving means that the vehicle will drive autonomously and handle everything from lane changes, unprotected turns, detours, tight gaps, curvy roads, merges, forks, roundabouts, stop signs, people cutting in front of you, dealing with pedestrians, and pulling over at the end of the drive. At this time, FSD requires supervision from the driver. But with the introduction of the robotaxi, my presumption is that no supervision will be required, since the rumors are that there will be no steering wheel. We'll find out soon. My goal in this video is to show you how to get the most out of full self-driving. This includes using the accelerator pedal to encourage the Tesla to proceed, as well as using the turn signals to tell the car to make lane changes. Even though the car is driving itself, you can still give input to tell it what to do. FSD uses only cameras to build a model of the area surrounding the vehicle. There is no LiDAR, no radar, and no ultrasonic sensors, only cameras. You can see how good of a job the car is doing by dragging your finger to orbit the 3D representation of your car's surroundings. Heat maps show you how close you are to the objects around you. Combined with the 3-up camera backup view, which you can enable by dragging up here, this makes it very easy to safely back out of a parking spot. All Tesla vehicles are constantly upgraded with new over-the-air software updates. Tesla just added the feature called Actually Smart Summon, or ASS. The car will unpark itself and drive to a location you specify using the app. Here's an example of Summon navigating a Costco parking lot. It's got to make a brave maneuver to get across this gap here. And it did it. Going back to FSD, version 12 requires the driver to pay attention. That's why Tesla started calling it full self-driving supervised. There is a camera located inside the car that monitors the driver. You can see this camera view by going to Service, Camera Preview. If you do anything but pay attention to the road and your surroundings, it will begin a series of escalating warnings that require you to respond. This could be as simple as moving your eyes back to looking at the road or putting your phone down. The system keeps track of where you are looking and checking to see if you are holding a device in your hands. It can do this even when you're wearing sunglasses and even in the darkness of night. FSD Beta used to require you to keep your hands on the steering wheel at all times, but this has been greatly reduced in the latest software releases. For the most part, you don't need to hold the wheel anymore. But when it does ask you to hold the wheel, just know that it detects your hands by measuring the torque being applied to the wheel. You need to gently apply a small amount of torque to the wheel, but don't apply too much or FSD will disengage and you will hear the disengagement sound. It's up to you to then take over and drive the vehicle, or you could re-engage FSD. If you do absolutely nothing, the display will start flashing blue followed by audible warnings. If you continue to ignore the warnings, it will activate the hazard lights and the car will slow down or stop in a safe location. This is good to know should you go unconscious or have a seizure while FSD is enabled. FSD currently costs $8,000 for a permanent license that is locked to the vehicle. So if you sell the vehicle, you are selling FSD with it. Several times now, Tesla has allowed you to transfer the FSD license to a new Tesla when you trade in the old one. But every time they do this, they say it's a one-time promotion. I did this myself when I traded in my 2018 Model 3 for a Model Y last year. You can also pay $100 a month for a subscription. You can cancel and restart your monthly subscription anytime. Now, let's go ahead and enable FSD. Go to Controls, Autopilot, Full Self-Driving. You will need to agree to the terms and conditions and read all the warnings before you can enable FSD for the first time. Some other settings to check are the profile setting. The chill profile is ideal for a relaxed driving experience with smoother acceleration and larger follow distance. The assertive profile is better suited for more aggressive driving with faster acceleration and smaller following distances. I personally prefer the assertive profile. I also prefer no lane change notifications. Minimal lane changes for current drive is a great setting if you want to disable speed-based lane changes but keep the route-based lane changes on the highway. So with minimal lane changes enabled, the car will stay in this lane until I need to get off at Van Nuys Boulevard. The last setting we want to enable on this screen is ASS, or Actually Smart Summon. This is the feature where the car will drive to you. One other setting you should know about when driving on highways is under Navigation, use HOV lanes. This tells the software whether or not it should use carpool lanes. Tesla recently added a new feature called Automatic Set Speed Offset, which allows the car to drive the speed that the software determines is most natural. This is based on road type, traffic flow, environmental conditions, speed limit, and the selected FSD profile setting. What all this means is that the car will travel with the flow of traffic, which is often faster than the posted speed limit. This is a great improvement in my opinion, as being the only person driving the speed limit can be somewhat annoying to the people around you. I would highly recommend you enable this option. Requirements to engage FSD are that you are driving less than 85 miles an hour and you have the headlights set to auto or on. Auto high beam is automatically enabled, as well as auto windshield wipers. This is somewhat annoying as the wipers will suddenly turn themselves on for no reason. I have noticed recently that the software does allow you to turn off the automatic wipers when this happens. Simply press the button on the end of the left stalk to bring up the wiper settings and then tap off. You can enable FSD whenever you see the gray steering wheel. This indicates that the car has enough information about its surroundings to be able to drive itself. When you park inside a garage, for example, you may not see the gray steering wheel. The current version of FSD can't back up, so I will need to pull my car out of my garage before I can enable FSD. Now, since the garage door is controlled by the car, I can see in the future how this would change. I can see how the car would open the garage door, pull itself out of my garage, shut the garage door, and defrost my windows, for example. But as of today, these features do not exist. If I was parked on the side of the road, however, I would be able to enable FSD, and the car would safely pull out into traffic. You can even enable FSD from a parking lot and it will find its way to the street, although it does currently struggle with multi-level parking structures. Oh, this is good. This is good. Is it gonna... No, it's gonna get stuck. To enable FSD, pull the right stalk down once. You will hear a confirmation sound, the steering wheel indicator will turn blue, and you will see a blue line indicating the path planner. The car will now drive itself. You just need to do your best not to freak out. To disable FSD, lift the right stalk upwards. FSD will also disengage when you press the brake pedal or turn the steering wheel firmly. Anytime you disengage FSD, you will get a notification that says, "Autopilot disengaged, what happened?" You then have the option to press the button on the right scroll wheel to record a short clip of audio. This audio clip, along with the video captured from the cameras outside the vehicle, are sent to Tesla for evaluation. This is then used to improve the FSD software. This pop-up will not appear if you are close to your destination, as the assumption is that you have arrived at your destination and are simply done using FSD, and not for any reason worthy of recording. FSD is best used when you have a destination in the trip planner. Although you don't need to have a destination, it will just keep driving until you give it a destination. And once you give it a destination, you can even change the route while the car is self-driving. Okay, so now we're coming up on gate 7, but I don't actually want to go to gate 7. I'm going to change the navigation, and I'm going to do that while it's continuing in full self-drive. So I'm just going to ask it, navigate to Forest Lawn Cemetery. So it's going to navigate to a different destination. Well, it's going to give me destinations, and then I'll pick one. And so now it is going to continue past gate 7, which is coming up here on the left, and it's going to continue to Forest Lawn Cemetery. You can also end the current trip without having to disable FSD. If you don't like the current route, you can even ask the navigation to provide other options, even while you are en route. Simply tap on the navigation guidance and it will give you additional route options, with the current route in blue and optional routes in light blue. Simply tap on the route you wish to change to. You can also add stops while you are en route. Tap on the triple dot in the route info box and choose Add Stop. The car will automatically follow the route as the route changes. The car will also make suggested route changes based on changing traffic conditions. The single thick blue line indicates the path that FSD is planning to take, including the distance forward that the car deems as free and clear. You can make this visualization full screen by swiping the right edge to the right. Using FSD for the first time may feel very strange. FSD will make decisions differently than you would, as if someone else is driving, which is exactly what's happening. It is mostly on the safe and conservative side of decision making. When making an unprotected left onto a busy street, it may take a very long time for the car to feel safe to proceed. As the human driver, you may see multiple opportunities to proceed and become frustrated that FSD didn't see the same opportunities. You can at any time use the accelerator to tell FSD to proceed. Lightly press on the accelerator pedal when FSD is active to tell the software to go ahead and move forward with the next action. Come on, car. It's a red light. Alright, I had to press the accelerator. Pressing the accelerator does not disable FSD. You can also tell FSD to change lanes at any time. Simply use the turn signal. The turn signal will turn on, and you will see on the display that the path indicator will switch lanes when it is safe to do so. FSD may change lanes on its own, depending on the flow of traffic. FSD has always tried to match the set speed. If you are currently slower than the set speed, and there is a lane that is moving faster, FSD may choose to change lanes into the faster lane. You always have the ability to cancel an automatic lane change. Once FSD indicates that it's about to make a lane change, you can use the turn stalk to cancel this behavior. You also have the ability to keep FSD from changing lanes on the highway by enabling the Minimize Lane Changes option in the settings. You can access this option quickly by pressing the right scroll wheel to the left or right. This will pop up a window where you can change the driving style and enable or disable the Minimize Lane Changes option. This will disable speed-based lane changes temporarily, but keep the route-based lane changes so that you don't miss an exit. Personally, I use this option a lot as I find it a bit stressful when the car is changing lanes all the time to reach some arbitrary set speed. If you wish to change the set speed, you can use the right scroll wheel. If you have the automatic set speed offset enabled, you may not be able to change the set speed on city streets, and the indicator will say Auto Max. However, if you are on the highway, you will be able to change the set speed even with the automatic set speed offset enabled. This is because in version 12.5.4, Tesla is still using the version 11 code for the highway stack. To change the set speed, you can move the wheel slowly for increments of 1 mile an hour, or flick the scroll wheel quickly for increments of 5 miles an hour. How does the car know the speed limit? Well, in addition to the stored road data, the car actually sees and reads the speed limit signs. There are limitations to what FSD can do. You may see a message like, "Full self-driving may be degraded, poor weather detected." Most of the time, these are indications that the performance is degraded, but it still allows you to use FSD. Rarely does it actually disengage in severe weather, but then I live in a part of the world where we don't have severe weather, so perhaps that's just my experience. Leave a comment below if you've ever had FSD disengage due to poor weather. FSD can also get stuck. However, this can be solved by having the car drive in reverse, which is on the AI team's roadmap this month when they release version 12.5.5. What is my opinion on FSD? I've been using FSD since it was released to the public in November 2022. Alright, well, this is my first full self-driving beta drive. This was version 10 at the time, and it was pretty rough. What are you waiting for? Nobody's coming.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna accelerate. A lot of things have changed since then. Version 11 introduced single stack integration, which combined the city streets and highway code into one. What on earth? And it wasn't until 2024 when we got version 12, which used an end-to-end neural network for vehicle control. This version was starting to feel much more human-like in the decisions it was making. I currently have version 12.5.4, and I would say that it is very good at this point. It can often take me from one place to another with no disengagements. In fact, this is the first version I can use with my wife in the car, and it no longer makes any sudden unexpected maneuvers. Now, FSD is built upon a large set of training data. Tesla built a supercomputer called Dojo in Buffalo, New York to train the models that are currently used for FSD. They are also building a new supercomputer in Austin, Texas called Cortex that is so big that it will use 130 megawatts of electricity. All of this supercomputing power will lead to better and better AI training, and FSD will get better and better, and a safer driving experience for all. In fact, I can see a day when FSD is better at driving than humans. Do I see a future where we don't need a steering wheel? Actually, yes. I can see how that would be possible. And that brings us back to Warner Brothers Studios, where somewhere behind me, Tesla is about to unveil the robotaxi, which may or may not have a steering wheel. The future of driving is here. Well, over there somewhere behind me. I look forward to living in that future. Thank you for watching. Couldn't have timed that better. Thank you, Cybertruck. Excellent participation.